Thank you very much. I'll say it again, thank you to everybody. Thank you for welcoming me. And it's one thing that I was just sitting there and I was saying, how am I going to start it? You know, when you are invited like this, first of all, I would like to appreciate the team, and you've done a good work. And but first of all, I really want to appreciate God. So please, if you can help me from any background, to please stand up and appreciate God. Do you know, I owe him this appreciation because I remember a long time ago. And if you are here, I want you to go back with one thing: God will never lie. Whatever he promised you, he will make it to come to pass. I remember a long time ago when I was doing my GCSE, I was back in Africa. God told me, I will make you to dine with great people. I will make you to stand with great people. And today, if you are here, the good news is that you are a great person. Either you know it or not, either they've told you that or not, you have to know you are great. Because somebody like me, to whom God said you will stand with great people, is standing among you today. And thank you for accepting that. So please, can we appreciate God for just a second? You may be seated. So, every time I get to talk, first of all I say God, then I feel released because He's the one that kept me, that gave me this time to stand in front of you. And secondly, I like to appreciate my family because these are my people. And sometimes when I tell people I'm a mother of 4, people are like, how are you a mother of 4? So I just like to keep it like this. So this is my lovely husband and my 4 children. So right now the first one is 13, this is when she was 11, and the second one is 12, the third is 7, and my cute little boy Israel is now 3, he's waiting to be 4. Actually, I really wanted them to be here today. Yeah, and I believe they will come here. It's just that something disrupted the peace of the family. My husband actually traveled today, he went to Africa, but again there was a very urgent case in the hospital. His brother was urgently taken to the hospital, and yeah, the children had to be with them to help them to be together. But I wanted my children to be here today because today is Africa Day, a day to celebrate African people. The reason why I wanted them to be so much there is because we have realized how much African children suffer. They really suffer to recognize their own background. And I really want to appreciate all the British, all the European people, however you want to call yourself, white or black. I really want to appreciate you. But I really want to take this opportunity as I see you sitting here. If you're a British or you're a European or you have a white skin, like they say it, I see you in this place. Coming here, it is a way to appreciate black people too. And African people. I really want to thank you for that. And I wanted my children to be here, to see you here, to know that there are people who appreciate African people. Because I remember a few days ago, 2 days ago, we went to Mediol. And my daughter was looking at this new image of Mediol in Sheffield, because I live in Sheffield. And they were trying to show how Mediol is going to be in the next years to come in the future Mediol. And this is what my second daughter asked me. She said, Mom, I can't see any black people here. Are we not welcome in this shopping again? And I went to see, actually there was no black image. I was like, oh, what am I going to tell her? I was like, well, you can see this one. He said, no, it's a bit blurry. This is not a white black person, it's a kind of mixed race something. I'm like, well, I'm gonna look for the manager of this Mediol and talk to them because this is a point, you've made a point. So just to say, it's something that is real. We can't deny it. We can't hide it. And I really want to appreciate you for putting together these kind of things, because it's the truth, even though sometimes we try to say that, you know, this racism has gone away and all of that, but it is still happening. It is still happening in schools, it is still happening in hospital and everywhere. But I just really want to appreciate those who came before me. That's not the point. That's not where we have to sit. One of the reasons why African is not advancing is because we want people to pity us. We want people to see that we are the poorest. We've been abused. We've been neglected. I've learned to understand that that's not a fact anymore. I need to believe in myself. And I'm not standing here just as an African person. Because if I have to stand as an African person, it's a one way of telling you, get out, those who are not African. I'm standing here as a human being to say, you have to believe in yourself. And I have a calling, the calling that I received from God is from Isaiah 58, is to bring life from an empty place. So it's just for you to know that from wherever you are, you can bring life. And for you to bring life, you need to believe in yourself. And this year, this is the motive that I'm working with. I need to believe in myself. If I believe in myself, you can put me down. Either I'm African, I'm European, I'm white, I'm black, however you choose to call yourself, or mixed race. If you believe in yourself, that's the point. Because sometimes there is one problem. Africans have more focus to say that they've been abused, they've been neglected, but sometimes we also abuse other people. I'm going to tell you one way that we abuse people. We have this African way of talking or dealing with things, but you won't be among people, you forget that they say, you have to have this what we call intercultural attitude. You have to mind other people too. You have to mind the way people do things, because believe me, we come in this country, we're not going to overrule everything. There are things that we need to adapt. That's what I tell my children. When they come back from school, they're like, Mommy, this is what they did to me. I say, what did you do at first? So for them to be responsible, to know that there is always something that happened, is either you neglected yourself or they neglected you. And that's why I try to make sure, I'm just going to speak in this level as a mother. I try to make sure that when my children go to school, they are clean. So that when they treat them bad, then I know there is something else. And this is what I put. When you go to a market, I really appreciate all our mothers here for wearing African outfits. I really appreciate you for that. But there are places that we can wear this. It is beautiful today because it's an African day. But I remember one day coming from the church service, because I like to wear this big African outfit and all of that. And I went to the same medial again, and everybody was looking at me. The problem is that when people will look at you and laugh, you say they are bullying me. They are not bullying you. There is something that you have done. There is something that you should have thought that this could be a bit different. It is good to appreciate our difference, but there is also something that we have to do about it. So, well, this is just a little bit that I wanted to say to start with. And I'm going to try to make sure that I don't stay here for long. Like you've seen there, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a fashion designer, I'm a mother, I'm a beauty therapist, I'm an hairdresser and all of that. So yes, I study all of that. I went to school to study it because I wanted to become somebody. I wanted to become somebody, and one of the ways to become somebody is to learn. So recently I've been to Africa. I went there as a visiting lecturer. So that's one of the things that I'm going to come out with here. I went as a visiting lecturer, but when I got there, my way of thinking has changed. I used to think in my mind, because when I left the country, it took me 14 years last year before I went back there to Africa. My dad used to work, he's just retired, he used to work with the UN as one of the representatives. He was also one of the people who helps to deal with Ebola, one of the doctors who helps to deal with Ebola, and I really appreciate him for the courage. So I will not stand here and not appreciate my dad for that courage too. So last year I went back there home to visit them. One thing I noticed, again going back this time, and I'm from Congo, I'll probably say it, and I'm glad to see Mommy there, I spoke to her on the phone. One thing I noticed that we think that people that we have to help is more those children in the street, those who don't have something to eat, those who don't have something to drink. But I went to teach at a university, well-known university called ISAM. As I was sitting in the rooms there teaching people, I was crying in my heart. Because I realized that we are focusing more on those on the street. But we are forgetting that some people are there, studying but suffering even to go to school. I saw one guy who was just snoring and sleeping in the classroom, and I was like, why are you even late? He said, I had to walk to be here. And I asked him, how far? And I was like, oh my God, I need to appreciate God. And I saw another girl, she was very weak there. I'm like, why are you not doing your work? She's like, I can't afford to buy those papers. And how much was it? She told me it was like just, it's not even gonna be £1. And I was challenged. I just went into my bag and I just brought the money out. I said, buy paper for everybody, because I realized how much those people need help. While I went for the first trip, I was just on the street giving money to people, the people who are blind and all of that. I changed my focus. I'm like, yes, there are people who can do it. There are people out there who are standing for women, for people who are raped, who have AIDS. But I want to stand for the people who want to educate themselves. The people who have a talent. They have a talent, but they don't know to expose it there. They have a talent, but there is nobody to push them, because sometimes we think that they are already there, but they are crying in their heart. So that's why, as an ambassador of Peace too, as part of this great congregation, I brought up this idea to start a foundation to promote people talent, to promote the gift within us. And I've seen some people in the street. I asked them, why are you in the street? They say, because I lost my dad. But what are you doing? He started a business of selling apples, and he's been doing that for 15 years, and that's what has been helping him to feed himself. I say, you are a true entrepreneur. I've learned that there's a born entrepreneur and made entrepreneur. You are born entrepreneur. And I've seen people like that in Africa. I've seen people like that in Congo. So I really want to appreciate those lives, and I really want you to really also do anything that you can do so we can help those people. And one of the way we want to do it, like I appreciate one of my brothers who came here, is through the media, because without the media, it is very difficult to understand what other people are going through and to know the truth about other nations. So we want to use the media as a platform so we can promote people, we can also educate people, and we can also pass the message. So we'll do it through different games, different shows, and different competitions. So it's a long project. I'm not going to sit here to talk about it fully. If you want to know more about it, you can just see us at the end, and we can just brief you a little bit about it. So I would not forget to say God bless you to everybody. And there is also a platform that I've started, the Pastor's Wife Show. The Pastor's Wife Show is a platform that I've been led by God to talk about realities in families, church, and the society. Because there's so much happening in families, especially of those who call themselves religious people, Christians. There's so much abuse happening in family, and we tend to blame the church and the society for that. And there's so much abuse happening also in the church, and so much abuse happening also in the society. And I'm one of the victims. I'm going to tell you a little story, but I'm not going to call myself a victim. One day when I was doing my master's, I'm done. When I was doing my master's, I was just going to meet with one of the tutors that I put there. It was in the beginning of the year, and I was talking to her about my project. She said, this place does not belong to people like you. Sometimes when I used to hear things like that, I'm like, oh, people just want to dramatize life. I was told, this place does not belong to people like you. I was dressed up well. I looked at myself. I looked at everything. I'm like, what's wrong with me? And I looked, the lady was just putting the hand to say, you have to leave this place for people like them. You have to go and find something that will feed you from hand to mouth. I looked at me, I said, there must be something wrong. I said, that can be my skin then. Because the clothing that I was wearing, everything is just from, I remember that day it was from Topshop. I'm like, there's nothing wrong. I left that place very disrupted. I felt like I just wanted to lose. For 1 year, I was really disrupted in my head. Then I said, no, I can't blame this person. I have to blame myself. There is something I have to do. I can't take everybody and put them in one box. Because that color, that person had that color, then everybody will treat me like that. I said, I have to put a difference. There's something I have to do. I have to fight for myself. I need to believe in myself. That's one of the reasons I'm standing here and still standing to talk. Because then I wanted, even at a point, to commit suicide because I was fed up. I started to judge everything and everybody. But I'm glad now that I'm still standing. I have hope. And that hope is not only for African people. I want to stand for hope for everybody. Because that's the reason why God told me, I have to bring life from an emptiest place. Either you are black, white, Asian, I don't care. I want to bring hope. And I want to bring life from an emptiest place. So all that story does not matter. What matters now is what I want to do. Thank you very much.